Hello guys, welcome back to my new tutorial. In this video I will be painting the snowdrops, which is the bird flower of the month of January. If you are my Patreon member, you get this exclusive tutorial with beautiful midnight glow snowdrops. Check out the links below for all the details and how to become a member. And I would really appreciate your support. This is how you support my YouTube channel. Please give it a like, subscribe, check out my other videos, and enjoy painting. Hello guys, in this video I will paint the snowdrops, which is the second flower for the month of January. And in my Patreon exclusive tutorial, you'll see me painting on this beautiful midnight background, and I go more in depth about the structure of the flower, about all the details, how to create this this kind of painting. And right now here I will go like with very easy quick drawing and just paint them on white background. But if you would like to see this kind of painting, so go and check out my Patreon. Okay, so the snowdrop flower has only 3 outer petals, and on the inside it has like a petal, looks like a tiny bell with those like small green details in the center. And this top thing, it's like a leaf looking like a arch on top, and has that green bract here on top, and the pretty simple shape leaves. I'll show you how to create them. So, and the stem looks like a hook. So I'm gonna do the first flower, and they come in a bunch of 3, 4, a few. I'm just gonna draw 3 here. So here's the first hook I have. I'm gonna start with a simple bud, and the petal goes from the narrow to wider, pointy at the bottom, and wider and narrow again. And here is our bell looking thing inside, and the right petal going down wider, and I'm gonna go it on top of that bell like so. And here I'm gonna have my green elements, and the third petal will be behind these two. Very simple. So I'm gonna have another one a little bit lower, so it's gonna start right here, hook going down, have that bud thing, and same here, narrow going wider, pointy, wider, and narrowing here. And here's our bell looking, and that's gonna be green, and these tiny green things. And let's do another narrow, getting wider, nice point here, and going on top of it. And the third petal will be closer to my right one. I want to change the composition a little bit. So this one is in the left, this one's going to be more on the right. Something like that. Need to cover more, so I'll just fix it. Okay, and I will add one more for the composition, for the better composition, is gonna be higher than other two. So here's my bud and where the petal is gonna start. So in this flower, I'm not gonna show that inner petal, the bell part. They just gonna be 3 petals. So I'm gonna start with the middle one. It's narrow, getting wider, going down, wider and narrow right there. And the left one will be behind. So I'll just go same thing, pointy, pointy, getting wider. And the right one, narrow, getting wider, just sticking out to the right and point and go behind this one in the center. That's it. And the leaves gonna be very simple. I'm gonna paint them with my brush. So I want to just indicate the composition. And I'm gonna have like kind of roots down there and a little bit of snow, indication of snow. Pretty much similar to this, just no background. And another important thing, they have this bract thing that looks like a leaf on top of the flower. And it's going right on top of that hook. So I'm gonna add on all of them. That's it. There you go. Now we're gonna start painting. So I'm gonna use my, since the flower is white, and to make it white color, we need like bluish, kind of gray looking, very light shade. So I'm using my indigo and diluted with water and tiny bit of burnt sienna here. And it has to be really, really light. That's why I would like to test it first. It's too gray. I would like to add a little bit of blue. And that should be enough. So I'm gonna start with the petal. Gonna make that line. Just pretty much create the outline. Wash my brush. Top of paper towel. And just blend it toward the center, softening the edge. And I'm leaving that white untouched. So same here, I'm going with the outline kind of stroke. Cleaning my brush, tapping off, my brush is almost dry, and just pulling this pigment toward the center. Cleaning my brush again, watering down. Softening the edge again and leaving that white highlight. In the center, that petal behind will be a little darker, especially on the sides that touching these 2 petals. Because it's in the shadow, it's gonna be darker. I'm leaving those tiny like circly elements white now because I will make them green. So now I'm painting the inner 3rd petal, tapping off. So going in, pulling the pigment down, cleaning my brush, and just softening the edge. There you go, and it's gonna dry and look even lighter. So I will go even with darker, that grayish color. Oops. Lifting, creating that shadow. And I will add a little bit of shading on this petal with damp brush, tapping off paper towel. I'm softening that edge towards the center. Okay, I'll go with this. So, and the center petal is in the front and other two are behind. So I'm gonna create the shadow under the center petal, cleaning my brush, topping off and pulling that pigment, softening the edges, and create the edge on the left, leaving that white highlight. Going on the right, creating like outline, cleaning my brush and softening the edge. Same I will do with the center petal, just going outline, clean my brush, tap off paper towel and soften that edge and leave that white highlight in the center. Okay, softening more, lifting more, nice and soft edge. Okay, third flower, same thing. We're gonna start with the edge on the left, on the right, I'm leaving that white. So I'll do the outlines first. Top it off, clean my brush, and pulling in, softening the edge. Same here. Softening the edges. Now in my center petal, I'm going under those ruffles in that bell. Gonna drop in darker pigment and just soften the edges. All right, I'm gonna add more shadow behind this center flower, center petal. Cleaning my brush, tapping off so my brush is damp but almost dry, and just blending, pulling toward the center, that dark pigment. Do you see how this front petal pops now? And I'm gonna slightly add a little bit on the edges of these petals, darker, my bluish color. So I'm gonna darken the center petal again, and I'm even using more intense blue indigo here. I don't want them to look too grayish. I prefer them to be on a bluish side. So I'll do the same thing here. So here in the center, we're gonna have the darkest right where we have these left and right petals. The inner one will be in the shadow. I'm just tapping off, paper towel and pulling it down, softening. And we'll add the outline on the left, on the right, and leave that highlight in the middle again. Okay, that's, oh, I forgot this one in the center, so I'm gonna go with that same color, keep the center lighter, and on the left and right darker. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna start with my undersea green and adding a little bit of yellow. Gonna start with my lightest green here and just paint that bract on top and the arch going down, just pulling down. And oops, it's too wet here. Okay, I need more thicker pigment, so I'm tapping off if it's too much water and just painting that arch. Same here, I'm gonna do that leaf looking shape right here and pulling down, creating that arch. I'm gonna go with more yellow and tap it off and create that bright green, and even gonna leave that white highlight here. And I'm gonna extend this a little bit because I really would like to have that highlight, and a tiny bit here. Okay, now I'm gonna paint with the same green. I'm gonna start painting leaves, just pulling down, using tip of my brush and going down on the body of the brush, kind of making the tip a little bit rounder, they're not that pointy. And same here, rounding it, pulling down. And I will add my darker value green, a little bit rounder, going behind that petal. And right here, here's my lightest green. So we're gonna have leaf shown here. Tapping off if it's too much water here. And I'm just gonna extend this part of the leaf. Just complete it, going down. So I'm gonna do another one right here. Just like so. And maybe a tiny one here. Now I'm gonna go with my darker green undersea, no, perlin green. And I'm just gonna drop in the darkest values at the bottom of the leaves, right in that area. Just gonna vary the green color to make it look more interesting. So I need to finish this stem here. Okay, I will be adding more of undersea green, just dabbing in different values of green. So you see how interesting it looks now with different shades of green. And now for that bud, I'm gonna start with my bright light green. On the right side, I'm gonna leave white highlight. I'm not even gonna paint. Then I'm gonna paint with bright, my light green right next to that white. And all the way to the left. Same on this one, I'm leaving that white to add the interest. Highlights always add interesting details. I'll do same right on this one. Gonna complete that stem, leaving that white. So we have our white, medium green. Now I'm gonna go with my undersea green and just dab in my darkest on the left. See, I'm only touching that left side of that bud, and see how it instantly creates that depth. Looks beautiful. And I'm gonna go with perylene green again, just drop in some in my leaves to add more depth to the leaves right here. And that's pretty much it. Now I will go with my brightest green, what I used here on the right. So more like yellowish with undersea tone, and I'm gonna paint those tiny elements on the bell inside. One and two. That's it. Now I will add with burnt umber. I would like just wiggle a few pieces of tapping of paper towel of those roots here, and I will let them bleed right into my leaves, just like wiggling. And with a couple of dabs I will add that warm tapping off, so it's very light brownish shade, just gonna create even more interest in my leaves. And it will connect those greens with the roots I have here. And I will go with that indigo, and the same color I used for the petals, and with kind of dryish brush, and I'll just create a few strokes with my dry brush, just indicate the snow. Go again with maybe a little bit darker, not too much, just like so. I'm gonna even drop in that indigo while my leaves are still wet. I'm just gonna drop in to add extra depth, and that's about it. And I painted this on Arches 100% cotton paper, and that's the best paper to use, of course. And one more thing I'm gonna do here, just slightly warm up my flowers. I'm gonna use yellow, tiny bit of yellow, and burnt sienna. So I have that orangey color. I'm gonna test it on my paper, making sure it's on a orangey side, and very, very light. Gonna top it off so my brush is almost dry, and just give it a very slight glaze to warm it up, that blue, and it just changes everything. I'm doing on all of them, just barely touching my paper, but look how much like beauty it adds. It just balances off the root color and the flower. It just brings it all together and makes sense. And a little bit of shadow with my indigo right under very bottom where the leaves start. And last thing, I will take my burnt umber and just cover my flower and splatter a few drops the brown color, and I'll do the same but water it down with indigo and splatter with indigo. Create that beautiful texture for the soil and snow. You know me, guys, if you've seen other videos, you know I'm the splatter one. I had to loosen up somehow and just dab a few brush strokes like so. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And check out my Patreon if you guys want to see this kind of painting with that midnight beautiful background. This is on my Patreon exclusive. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. And please comment with any questions, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it. Comment with any questions, with your thoughts. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to check out my other videos and check out the carnation flower, which is another flower for the month of January. Thank you again and have a wonderful day. See you soon.